Kenny, what you got?
And Joe Horn pleading with him to put him in the football game. He can't even pick up his left arm, but he's trying to get in there as best as he can, as much as he can. Talking to coaches now, he's over talking to Hubbard Alexander, trying to politic with him.
Well, the thing is, they don't need Joe, not right now, not where the ball is situated right now. I mean, put you right in the hands of Deuce McAllister. They're taking a little stoppage in play right now because Jack Del Rio is going to ask the officials, was that ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, in which case there would be no pass interference.
The ball was tipped, as I saw it on the replay, by Donovan Darius, the safety. But Lewis was already being held and interfered with in the end zone. But the ball was...
Jacksonville is challenging the play that the ball was tipped. The play will be reviewed.
And while they review that, we'll remind you that this Hibernia National Bank Challenge is brought to you by Hibernia National Bank, the official bank of the New Orleans Saints. We challenge you to take on our completely free checking and receive a Pyrex 4-piece storage deluxe set free. That's Hibernia, where service matters.
Now, the ball was tipped by Donovan Darius, but if the penalty occurred before the ball was tipped, you would think that the penalty would stand.
Right, and I think that, you know, what Jack Del Rio, I mean, his argument right now is that the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it was not, and you can see that on the replay, but I'm not really sure what the rule of that is in the end zone. But as you said, if the penalty occurs before that, well, then it should be, you know, the ball goes down on the 1-yard line.
And it looked like the penalty was occurring prior to Donovan Darius, the strong safety, having the ball go through his hands, but he clearly did touch the ball as it went through his hands. But from the way we saw the play, it looked like Michael Lewis had already been interfered with in the end zone by Fernando Bryant, the left cornerback. And this would be a crucial call here if it were to be overturned. If not, the Saints have it 1st and goal at the 1-yard line with 2:11 to play. A touchdown and an extra point would tie it at 20. Jack Del Rio, the young head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, just 40 years old, the second youngest head coach in the NFL to John Gruden. 3rd-round draft choice of the Saints back in 1985. And I remember doing a game that year when Joe Woolley, since deceased, fine man, used to sit in the booth with Larry Matson and myself. And Del Rio would just continue to make plays in game after game. And he didn't get drafted very high because he didn't have good measurables, didn't have really good speed. There were some things that they didn't like about him in the combine just because of his triangle numbers. And I remember Joe Woolley turning to us and saying, you know, this should teach me right. I should just draft people who make plays, because that's all this guy does is make plays, instead of drafting people off their triangle numbers and their speed.
Well, there's a lot to be said for that. And, you know, but you also have to have that balance in there where you've got some speed and quickness and not just guys that can make plays, because Sammy Knight can make a lot of plays too, but then you find out, you know, at certain positions, you know, it'll come back and really bite you on the butt if you don't have some speed at certain positions.
Well, this is a very crucial replay.
After reviewing the play, the ball is tipped by number 20. Therefore, pass interference cannot occur. It will be 4th down and goal at the 9-yard line.
Well, there you go. The ball was tipped by Donovan Darius. We're going to look at the replay here. Lewis is being held at the 1. To me, that's got to be a penalty. He's being interfered with before the ball's ever thrown.
Yeah, and Hazlitt's pleading his case over there right now, but I mean, I don't know really what they can do about it. I mean, they can't overturn something that's been overturned.
But Hazlitt has got all the officials over on the sideline with him, talking to Gerald Austin about it. But to me, if the pass interference occurred before the ball was tipped, it's still pass interference.
Absolutely. I mean, I agree with that. Normally you see this, that the ball will be tipped at the line of scrimmage, but it was not.
It was tipped down around the goal line by Donovan Darius, who's playing center field. Now, if that contact hadn't occurred, maybe Michael Lewis still makes the catch because the ball wasn't that far off target, but Lewis couldn't get to it.
Let's go down to Kenny Wilkerson real quick. Kenny, what you got?
Well, it just seemed like Jim Hazlitt just spent about 3 minutes or 2 minutes or so trying to explain the rules to the referee. It's like he didn't even understand what he was telling me, because he was saying it wasn't tipped at the line. It doesn't matter. And the guy kept looking at him. It was like he almost couldn't even understand what the head coach was trying to tell him, going over just the simple rules of the game.
Well, that changes things considerably. because now it is 4th and goal from the 9-yard line, and the Saints will go for it out of the shotgun. Here comes Brooks to throw, and the ball is batted down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. And that's the way this season has gone for the Saints with 2:07 remaining in it. The Saints look to have a 1st and goal opportunity at the 1. The call on the field was overturned, and instead they have it 4th and goal from the 9. After the incompletion, the ball goes over to the Jacksonville Jaguars with 2:07 to play.
And I'm quite sure that the officiating crew is not done from hearing from Jim Haslett for the remainder of this ball game. And also, I'm sure it's going to be one of those things that he's going to complain about tomorrow to the league officials and everything else. And to be perfectly honest with you, Jim, I think that's the first time I've seen something like that, so I really don't know how the rule works there.
We'll have to hear from Jim Haslett in postgame. Here's Leftwich handing it off to Taylor. He bangs it straight ahead as a flag is thrown. Now another. A short gain by Taylor up to around the 12-yard line.
Well, one's going to be for holding, and it looks like one of the officials over there on the side is going to call for a
Tripping. 90 defense. 10 yards. Automatic first down.
So actually both officials saw the tripping call
On Kenny Smith. And you'll remember earlier in the game, they called a tripping penalty against the Jaguars and then picked it back up.
That was on the Deuce McAllister fumble.
On the McAllister fumble, saying no, he ran through the leg of the defender. And so, with 2:02 to play and the clock stopped, the Jaguars have it 1st and 10 at the Jacksonville 22-yard line. Backs are offset. Wideouts left and right. Taylor straight ahead. And Derek Rogers brings him down after a couple. Lucky Jones helping out on the tackle. We have reached the 2-minute warning. 1:57 to play. It is Jacksonville 20 and the Saints 13. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
I was in this place the other day, and in walks a guy with a broken mop and a bucket of water dirtier than a mud wrestler after a Saturday night fight. What a mess. Stained shirt, cigarette behind his ear, and when he bent over, the moon hit my eye like a big pizza pie, and there wasn't no Amore. And that sure wasn't no Janny King employee, because Janny King only hires top cleaning experts who are always professionally dressed. That means no cracks in their backs and no pies in your eyes. If you want it clean, call Janny King at 1-800-375-JANI.
Get the good stuff.
Hey folks, Hokie Gajan here for Napa Auto Parts. Napa has great tool sets and gifts for everybody on your list. The incredible Napa 74-piece gear driver and gear ratchet tool set in SAE or metric is just $49.99 after rebate. Evercraft 30-piece quarter-inch or 3/8-inch drive socket sets are just $19.99, and the mini remote-controlled Napa trucks are just $14.99 while supplies last.
Napa, get the good stuff. If your idea of grabbing life involves getting in your truck and getting the job done, then get to the Dodge year-end sales drive, where you can grab our best deals on Dodge Ram and Dakota, like 0% APR financing or a $2,500 cash allowance. Plus, you get Dodge's transferable 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. See your Dodge dealer now during the Dodge year-end sales drive. Financing for qualified buyers. See dealer for a copy of this limited warranty. Transferable to second owner for fee. Deductible applies.
To chew on the officials on the far sideline, but one of the more controversial calls of this season, and it could very well cost the Saints their playoff chances, slim though they were, was the call in the end zone where a pass interference on the cornerback Fernando Bryant. The flag was picked up after a challenge by Jack Del Rio saying that the ball was tipped, and indeed it was, but it was tipped in the secondary by Donovan Darius down around the goal line, seemingly after the pass interference had occurred in the end zone on Michael Lewis. Jaguars trying to run out the clock on this victory. 2nd and 5 from the Jacksonville 28, and the Saints come across the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Sullivan buries Byron Leftwich, and this looks to be another penalty on the Saints defense.
Well, it'd be enough to give them a first down, so, you know, that with a fresh set of downs.
97 defense, 5 yards. The result of the penalty is a first down. There's no personal foul. 97 was letting up as he got to the quarterback.
Well, all it does is cost the Saints 5 yards and a first down. No time comes off the clock. 1:57 remaining in this football game and in the Saints' playoff chances, it would appear. And I can't wait to hear what Jim Haslett will have to say about this in the post-game locker room if this is the way this game ends up.
Well, I'm more interested in finding out just exactly how the rule is supposed to be interpreted, because Kenny was able to hear a few things down there, but with all the crowd noise and everything else, he could only pick up bits and pieces. So I'm curious as to what the total rule is about that.
1st and 10 for the Jaguars from their 33. Taylor met at the line of scrimmage, spins off the tackle by Jones, wrapped up by Darren Smith right around the line of scrimmage as the Saints take a timeout.
Timeout, New Orleans, our 3rd and final one. It will be a 30-second timeout.
Freddie Taylor, 29 carries on the day for 180 yards. Again, he had 3 straight 100-yard days before last week when he was only able to gain 57 in just 16 yards against the Patriots. We mentioned that Jack Del Rio said afterward, we got away from the run too quickly. They never got away from it today, and they really didn't have any reason to. Meanwhile, Deuce McAllister held well in check. 21 carries for 51 yards, and that'll be the 3rd straight game that McAllister has been held to less than 100 yards rushing. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Your home for local news, sports, and weather. Oldies 640 KTIB Thibodaux, Homa. Good times and great oldies.
Freddie Taylor wrapped up by Darren Howard at the line of scrimmage. Howard on the tackle. Darren Howard playing well with that broken wrist, that dislocated wrist that he came back from late in the season. The Saints today only, though, with the 1 sack, that by Charles Grant. The clock is running. It shows 1:22 to play, and it'll bring up 3rd and 8 for the Jaguars from the Jacksonville 35. One wide receiver backs off set. Taylor getting the call. Breaks it against the grain up to the 40-yard line, short of the first down. It brings up 4th down. As the clock is running, it shows 55 seconds to play. And it'll bring up 4th and 3. And the Saints will have the opportunity to get their hands back on this football with precious few seconds remaining. You would expect they'd come after Mark Royals with everything they have here. A former Saint who will be punting from around his 25-yard line.
And as you mentioned, they're going to have precious few seconds to do anything with, and also no timeouts coupled with that.
Right now the clock shows under 30 seconds to play. The Jaguars are going to milk this for every second they possibly can, and will call timeout with 21 seconds remaining, so as not to incur a 5-yard delay of game penalty.
It'll be a 30-second timeout.
21 seconds left. Royals has punted once in this game, very ineffectively, and that occurred earlier in the 4th quarter, a 28-yard effort by Royals, in which he came off the bench for the first time to punt in this game because they had faced so few situations like that they had gone for it on 4th down and controlled this football game. Really a more one-sided game than the score would indicate, but the Saints still just a touchdown away. Here's Royals to punt it away. It's a very low, poor punt that hits at the 30, takes a couple of hops. Lewis is going to pick it up at the 21-yard line, spin away from a tackler up to the 25. 11 seconds left on the clock, and the Saints will have it 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 25-yard line.
Not a bad job by Michael Lewis to come up there and scoop that ball up, because, you know, the longer he lets it roll on the ground, the more seconds that are coming off the clock. And there's only 11 seconds remaining right now, but even though it was a little bit of a risk on his part to run up there and scoop that ball up off the ground, he had to do what he could to try and save time.
Well, the Saints perhaps in the final 11 seconds of their season when it comes to playoff consideration. They must win their final two today and at home against the Cowboys to have any chance. And right now, with 11 seconds left, they have the football at their 25-yard line, trailing 20-13. Set up a cubby to the left side. Brooks is going to roll in that direction, look downfield, and have the ball swatted away at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. Pouring in on him was Paul Spicer. The incompletion stopping the clock with 7 seconds remaining. Well, that's pretty bad when you want to try to set up a cubby and you can't even get the ball past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, they had a tight end that stayed in right there. I mean, you know, they had the left side of the line. I mean, it was going to be some max protection that way because Aaron was rolling that way. And the tight end and the tackle just let somebody split, let Spicer split between them, get back there and bat the ball into Aaron's face.
That's the third deflection of the game at the line of scrimmage by the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right. From the shotgun, Brooks pumps, throws down the near sideline to Stallworth, and Stallworth tries to get away from some people and does to the 38-yard line. He needs a block. He needs a couple there. They're going to lateral the ball to Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis tries to stay alive. He'll lateral it to Deuce. Deuce needing help. He laterals across the field, and the Saints are going to take it in with Pathan. If this is legal, they've done it.
No.
Jerome Pathan diving into the end zone.
I mean, you can't tell me that I just witnessed what I just saw take place. There are no flags out. I mean, everything that they threw was a lateral, and everybody that they threw it to was an eligible receiver, but I just can't believe it.
They're going to review this play to see if any of these laterals were forward laterals. There was no flag thrown on the field. The people upstairs are going to review this to see if any forward lateral occurred in how many of them? 5?
Something like that. I mean, you had the first one from Aaron to Dante, and then Dante dropped it off to Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis gave it to Deuce, and then Deuce goes to Jerome Pathan, I believe it was.
You really got to give a lot of people credit for this if it stands, but the first guy is Dante Stallworth. He easily could have been tackled by 2 people with the clock expiring. He took it to the left side, needed a couple of blocks, had the presence of mind to lateral to Michael Lewis. That's 1. He laterals it to Deuce. That's 2. Deuce hemmed in, throws it across the field to Pathan. That's 3.
And Aaron Brooks makes a block right there to spring Jerome Pathan into the end zone.
And Pathan dives into the end zone with a touchdown, and an extra point might tie this thing with no time left on the clock.
Well, I mean, now the only way they're going to have to look at this view because they're going to have to watch everything from the sidelines to see if these passes were, in fact, laterals. Let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson real quick. Kenny, what you got?
And, guys, they have not even started to look at it, although Jim Henderson, as the referee, was coming over saying, what are you looking at? What are you reviewing? Trying to get some clarification on it. Now, they're going to look at this, and he still has yet to turn and look into the screen. Some of the Saints players already listening in the headsets that the quarterbacks have with all the receivers, obviously talking to the coaches upstairs, and their reaction, they might have already gotten word from the coaches that the laterals were all good. If the laterals are all good, no flags on the field, it'll be a touchdown. Extra point can tie it up, obviously. He just started and turned and is looking into the camera, so obviously they had to get everything set for him to look at every single lateral.
The only one that I thought was in question was the first one, Stallworth, when he lateraled it to Michael Lewis. Boy, it's shades of the Music City Miracle. And there'll be a name for this one, I'm sure, as well, if it stands. But right at the moment, I can't think of one. But there'll be time enough to have an appropriate name for this one if it stands. Pathan threw a great block to keep Stallworth alive. The question to me is the first lateral from Stallworth to Lewis. And again, it has to be conclusive upstairs, and the people upstairs are the people that are in charge of replays in the final 2 minutes of each half. It has to be conclusive upstairs to overrule the call on the field where no flag was thrown. My
That's
gosh.
going to be close.
If it stands, it is a 75-yard touchdown as the clock expires in this game. With the Saints' playoff chances on life support, they may have pulled off a miracle.
And let's go right down to Kenny Wilkerson with an Abita Springs Florida Saints sideline report. Kenny?
Guys, Jim Henderson talking to Dante Stallworth and Michael Lewis. They were just talking to him about what they did and he looked at him and said, hey, then it should be good. And I think that's the only one, the question. All right, he's finished looking. Here he comes out. He's going to give us the word now.
Saints playoff chances hanging in the balance.
After reviewing the play, all the passes were either lateral or backwards, therefore legal. The touchdown counted.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, man.
Merry Christmas. And who knows, maybe it'll still be a Happy New Year. My gosh sakes. You have never, I thought I'd seen it all covering the Saints. I'd never seen that. I don't think I ever will again. That one is truly one for the record books, one for the ages, and all sorts of incredible plays along the line for the Saints to stay alive, pending the extra point by John Carney. And he missed.
No!
He missed the extra point wide right. Oh my God, how could he do that? This one is over as John Carney misses his first extra point of the season in his 36th attempt. He just pushed it out to the right, and it wasn't even close.
I mean, you could see the reaction from the fans down there in that side of the end zone, how they just erupted at the moment he kicked the ball, because they, such a short distance, they could see there was no way it was going to hook back in.
It was not touched. It was not deflected. John Carney picks the worst possible time of his career to miss an extra point, and to miss one for the first time this season. You talk about your highs and your lows in successive plays. You can't get much higher after a 75-yard touchdown for the Saints that included 3 laterals and an instant replay that went in the Saints' favor. And then with no time left on the clock, the Saints and John Carney miss the extra point. They will lose this football game 20-19, and with it, squander the remaining hopes of any playoff chances.
And let's go down to the field real quick for Kenny Wilkerson. Kenny?
All right, guys, we're going to talk to Kendall JAC. Kendall, I mean, I'm sure just like everybody else, you can't believe what you just saw.
No, I really can't. I mean, even on the touchdown, I mean, see guys, getting downfield, trying to give it all they got, trying to make sure we stay alive. For us to do that, and they missed the extra point, I don't even know what to say.
Difficult situation. It's been a difficult year. Obviously, this no question that knocks you out of the playoffs. But that's not what everybody will talk about all year. The inconsistency. You had the opportunities, and then here today, the referees tried to take it from you, even in the touchdown. But then you had to, it just didn't work out.
I mean, we can't blame anybody but ourselves. I mean, like you said, we had every opportunity to go ahead and win this thing, at least to tie it up and take it into overtime. We squandered it away.
That's Kendall Jaycox down here. I'm going to keep it down here on the field for a second. We're going to try to get a couple more people. I got Dante Stallworth right now. Dante, big play. Y'all get the touchdown. I don't think anybody believes what they just saw in this game.
Yeah. Hey, we wanted to finish it off. We're not satisfied with that. It was a hell of a play by everybody, the whole team. But we wanted to finish it off and didn't get it finished.
The fact is the playoffs are now done. There's not a whole lot, as you said, everybody. Nobody really has anything that you can say about this. Had the chances in this one today to grab it, but it just didn't work out. It's kind of how the whole season's gone.
Yeah, we did. We did all right. We did all right. Hey, Fred, be good, baby. Good ball. Got some respect for you. We just got to come back at it and be good. I was wondering if you had like that.
All right, guys, I'm going to go back upstairs. We'll get into locker room shortly and talk with Jim Henderson, not only about that extra point, but some of the calls and some of the things that happened in this game as well as throughout the course of this season. Larry?
A lot happened, no doubt about it, in the last minute of play. In fact, that's where it really happened, and unbelievable. Where the Saints had a 1st and goal at the 1. No, it was reviewed. It was 4th and 9, and from a goal from the 9, and then an incompleted pass. And then to get the ball and do what they did, unbelievable. We'll talk about it when we return. That's the end of the game. The final score, Jaguars 20, Saints 19. We'll be back in 60 seconds with a wrap-up of today's game on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Roby-Shaw Ford has trucks, and more trucks. They're overstocked. Go, go, go to Roby-Shaw Ford and drive away with a 2003 Ford Ranger regular cab for $89.97. Need more room? Save now on getting a Ford Ranger Super Cab XLT, V6, air conditioner, chrome wheels for only $12,986. Carrying extra cargo? Check out the Ford Ranger Trimmer Super Cab, fog lamps, all power, definitely a must-see truck for only $15,986. Close out 2003 with great savings on all Ford Ranger trucks, priced right and ready to roll at Roby-Shaw Ford, 272 West Main Street, Thibodeau. Sale price excludes tax, title, and license. Credit permitting. All rebates applied.
You're listening to New Orleans Saints football on Oldies 640 KTIB Thibodeau, Houma. Good times, great oldies, and New Orleans Saints football. Radio Network Newsroom. Today, the U.S. government raised the national threat level to orange, the second highest, saying attacks were possible during the holidays, and that threat indicators are perhaps greater now than at any point since September 11th, 2001. Orange means a high risk of terrorist attack. Since May, the level has been at yellow, or an elevated risk in the middle of the five-color scale. We'll be back with more details as Warren's event. Back to Larry Matson. You're listening to the New Orleans Saints Radio Network. All right, Mark, thank you very much. The quarter-by-quarter scores went like this. Saints led 3-0 at the end of one quarter. The Jaguars scored 17 points in the second quarter. The Saints scored a touchdown, so the halftime score was 17-10 Jags. In the third quarter, they both had field goals, and that was it. So the Jags continued a 20-13 lead. In the fourth quarter, it ended up the Saints scored 6. Jaguars scored nothing. It was 20-19. But the 6 points the Saints scored came on an Aaron Brooks pass to Dante Stallworth, who ran it down for a while, then stopped and lateraled it over to Lewis. Michael Lewis ran the ball for a few yards and flipped it back to Deuce McAllister. Deuce only took a couple steps, turned, and as he was getting hit, passed to Jerome Payson. It was a lateral, not really a pass, but it was overhand. Payson takes it in for the touchdown. It ended up being a 75-yard touchdown pass and lateral, 3 laterals in the play. 5 people touched the football. The Saints now needed an extra point with no time on the clock to tie it, to send to OT, and a missed extra point after 35 consecutive. It was a 20-19 final score. Saints dropped to 7-8. Jaguars improved to 5-10. Once again, the final score, 20-19. Jags, stay tuned for the Dodge Ram Locker Room show coming up next on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Play-by-play is over, but the game's just starting. Let's go behind the scenes on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network. Brought to you by Dodge. Grab life by the horns. Louisiana Lottery. Need a reason to smile? Allstate. Put your life in our hands. Alltel. You got that right. Jenny King. Want it clean? Call Jenny King. Hibernia National Bank. Official bank of the Saints.
Hard work drives every success story. It's been a lot of work, and it's worth it. Roadrunner Business Class understands. Our high-speed internet solutions offer performance you can count on to increase productivity and profitability. I never thought broadband would make such a difference. Roadrunner Business Class gives your business essential connections to customers and suppliers, and your employees have the tools they need to get more done.
Our business is at the point where we need real internet solutions, like Roadrunner Business Class provides.
Our solutions are tailored to meet your business needs, and dedicated local customer service supports you all the way.
Roadrunner Business Class is taking my business where I want it to go.
Power your business with Roadrunner Business Class.
Subscribe to Roadrunner Business Class today. Call 1-866-363-7204.
Brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Time Warner Cable, serviceable areas only. Not available in all areas. Some restrictions may apply. Roadrunner name and character are trademarks of Warner Brothers.
From
On the New Orleans Saints Radio Network, this is the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show. Stick with us for Kenny Wilkerson's one-on-one with Jim Haslett, player interviews, and game highlights. Brought to you by Louisiana Lottery. Need a reason to smile? Dodge. Grab life by the horns. Two-lane football. Be green. Napa Auto Parts. Cintas, the uniform people. Tempstar dealers in Louisiana and Mississippi, working to keep you cool. The Saints Locker Room Show is also brought to you by these local sponsors.
You're listening to New Orleans Saints football on Oldies 640 KTIB Thibodeau Homer. Good times, great oldies, and New Orleans Saints football.
Final gun, live from the press box. Here's Larry Matson on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
And here I am in Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida, in the press box. Our Saints post-game injury report is brought to you by Thibodeau Regional Medical Center, dedicated to bring you the best of health. In the third quarter, Tabucky Jones was shaken up a bit with an ankle, and then you had Boo Williams who limped off from the huddle and was able to come back, though, and make some plays. Joe Horn was hurt after a catch and made the first down. However, his shoulder was banged up on that play and did not return, although he wanted to late in the fourth quarter. Kenny Smith limped off with an ankle problem. He returned. Orlando Ruff was also injured in the fourth quarter but did not return. Fred Thomas also hurt his shoulder and back, it appeared, in that fourth quarter. And that's our Saints post-game injury report, brought to you by Thibodeau Regional Medical Center, dedicated to bring you the best of health. Taking a look at scores from around the National Football League today, these are finals. The Dolphins beat Buffalo at Buffalo 20-3. It was the Cowboys clinching a playoff spot, apparently, with a win over the Giants 19-3. If they haven't clinched it, they can just about do it next weekend. The Saints lost today, so they're out. And it was a four-team race for two teams to make it. One has been eliminated, the Saints. So the Cowboys very much live, and apparently I think they're in with that victory. The Panthers beat Detroit 20-14. It was the Rams over the Bengals 27-10. And Baltimore beat Cleveland 35-0. Some late scores, not yet finals, but close to it. Tennessee's wrapping up Houston 20-7. And the Bears and Redskins are tied at 24. Could go OT. In Saturday games, it was Atlanta knocking off Tampa Bay, knocking them out of the playoffs 30-28. It was Minnesota 45-20 over Kansas City. And it was New England beating the Jets last night 21-16. The final here once again tonight, this afternoon here in Jacksonville, Florida, a 20-19 thriller as the Saints score a touchdown with no time on the clock and miss the extra point to send it to overtime. It was a 75-yard touchdown play, not just a pass. It was a pass and three laterals. 5 players touched the ball before the score was made by Jerome Pathon. The Jaguars are now 5-10. The Saints are now 7-8, looking to break even next week when they play Dallas in the Dome. We'll be back with more of the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show after this on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Allstate, how can I help you? Yes, I'm calling about your safe driver discount. It says here in the paper, save up to 20% on auto insurance at Allstate.
That's right. It's our way of rewarding safe drivers. You know, people who avoid accidents, don't get tickets, obey the speed limit.
Oh, I'm obeying the speed limit.
Wait, you're calling about our safe driver discount while you're driving and reading the paper?
Sure, I'm multitasking.
That's not such a great idea. What's that noise?
Oh, my electric razor just touching up. Hey, could you hold on? I gotta switch CDs.
Sir, you're really worrying me.
Oh, look out!
Sir? Hello, sir?
How'd you go in there? I'm actually sitting at home in my recliner. I wanted to make sure you're not handing out that discount to just anyone.
No, sir. Just safe drivers.
The Allstate Safe Driver Discount. Call 1-800-ALLSTATE and you could save up to 20% on your auto insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. Discounted insurance offered only with select companies, subject to availability and qualifications. Discount amount may vary and applies to most major coverages. Allstate Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
Free tickets to the National Championship game in the Superdome? That's right. Abita Springs Water is giving away a pair of the hottest tickets in America. Log on to abitasprings.com today and register to win. It's a chance for you to be a part of history when the LSU Tigers play Oklahoma on college football's grandest stage. And when you're online, don't forget to sign up for delivery of the healthiest bottled water around. We'll even include a free case of Tiger Water on your first delivery. Don't miss out. Sign up today. No purchase necessary.
Why does our bank make everything so complicated?
Like?
Paperwork, statements, applications, a confusing website, and even finding a branch.
You know what would make it all simpler?
What?
Switching banks.
Want a better way to bank? Head for Hibernia. It's small business banking made simple. We offer hassle-free checking, easier account management, one-page loan applications, and small business experts to help you. Head for Hibernia. Hibernia, where service matters. Member FDIC. Noble credit qualifications apply.
We're ready for that now. The Jim Haslett post-game interview brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Best service, best price. Here's Kenny Wilkerson.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Jim, I think most people find it hard to believe what they just saw.
Yeah, I would have never guessed it. John's very reliable, and I don't know if it was something else than the kick, the hold, the snap. I don't know, but I would never guess that.
Like it all came off pretty smooth. He just pushed it out, and then you also commented that they were leveraging the whole game. Was that something that maybe he had in the back of his mind? I know it's hard, you can't put words in his mouth, but have y'all talked about that?
Oh, I don't know. I usually don't discuss that with John. That part of it. That's something we'll have to look at on film. But I still, even with leveraging, they still should have made the kick.
And then a miracle comes off and works, and then the extra point doesn't come through. I mean, it's like kind of, I don't want to say it's fitting, but it's been one of those kind of things. All it seems like every time you turn around.
That's a hard one. That was I thought it was a standing play by the offense, a very heads-up play by Dante. Everybody involved, Deuce, Strome, Mike, all those guys that handled the ball, and to have the awareness to make sure it was a lateral, and also to make sure that we kept moving the ball forward, and then to turn around and miss the extra point is it's a shame it happened.
Was that even wrong on their part to even review that? I mean, it's up to them at that point. I know you said, hey, what are you looking at? I mean, what happened then?
Well, I guess the upstairs wanted to review it. I don't know. They review everything now, so I don't know. But it was legal. I thought the guys, the parties involved, did a good job, an outstanding job with the play.
Back to what happened on the interference. Now, it looked like what you were telling them is that it wasn't tipped at the line, so that it doesn't matter. Explain the rule first, how it works.
Well, if the ball's tipped and there's interference occurs after the play, then it's no interference. But the interference occurred before the tip ball. The safety was a deep half player, so the corners cover him. So the interference doesn't occur after the play. It occurred, before the tip ball. If it was at the line of scrimmage, then there's no pass interference.
They told you. I mean, you were telling the other officials that on the sidelines while Austin went and looked at it. What did he come over and say to you?
Well, I don't know. He doesn't really. He doesn't really have to explain anything to you.
They did a good job on Deuce today. They also did a good job of coming at you with Fred Taylor, and you knew that they would do that.
Well, that's the two areas. They're very good run defense. They're number 2 in the league, and they're averaging 80 yards a game, and that's about what we got. So they did a nice job, and we didn't do a very good job stopping the run. And Fred Taylor's a great running back, so that's something that we always have to work on. And we get the good thing is we held the points down, and really, with the great heads-up play by those guys, we should have won the game, or at least had a chance to take it to overtime.
Jim, with the missed extra point, a chance to go to overtime, and with it also, obviously eliminated from the playoffs.
Well, yeah, that's always your ultimate goal is to get in the playoffs, to try to win a championship, and that's why you start working in March. We fell short, and it's something we have to deal with.
Thanks, Jim. Okay. That's Jim Haslett down here. Larry?
All right, Kenny, I feel a lot like Jim Haslett does. I feel like I'm about ready to throw up after something like that. Huh?
It's tough one to take because you don't expect something like that to happen, especially with a guy that's been as good and reliable and consistent as John Carney has.
All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll be back with interviews in the locker room. In fact, let's go back to Kenny Wilkerson. We will not take the break here. Kenny, I know you've got someone, and we've got CBS coming up in about 6 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, well, John Carney already talking.
and they did. The team, it's a heck of an effort by a number of players.
Jim just said, obviously he doesn't know what happened. Snap, hold, the whole 9 yards. I mean, did you push it, or what happened on the play?
It's all me. I just pushed the kick.
One of those things that, I mean, as a veteran player, and as Jim Haslett just said, he never would ever bet on anything like that. He'd put his money on you every day. But I guess these one of those kind of things that happen in football.
I guess so. We work hard and prepare so those things don't happen to you. And well, today it happened.
Thanks, John.
Yep.
Okay, John Carney down here, Larry.
All right, Kenny, thank you. We'll take the time out. We'll be right back, and we'll go back to the locker room. We also have a special CBS update coming up in about 4 minutes. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
The 2004 Dodge Durango has arrived at Thibodeau Chrysler Dodge Jeep just in time for the holidays. The new Durango features an ideal combination of power, comfort, and size. Now available with a Hemi V8 engine. Durango's bigger, bolder design offers best-in-class towing capacity. Test drive the all-new Durango at Thibodeau Chrysler and experience its smooth ride and crisp handling. Durango is available in 3 distinct models and is priced well below the competition. You'll feel secure in your new Durango because it's backed by Dodge's 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain warranty and Thibodeau Chrysler's 5-star service department. Grab life by the horns in your new Dodge Durango from Thibodeau Chrysler Dodge Jeep, 1505 Canal Boulevard in Thibodeau.
Are you tired of not being able to find a full-service gas station? Then look no further to Mike Spina, 1300 Canal Boulevard in Thibodeau. Mike and the gang offer a full line of services: brake tags, oil changes, tire repair, new and used tires, mag wheels, and rims. They will keep you going, and if planning on moving, make sure to stop by Mike Spina. They offer budget truck rentals, trucks of all sizes, and moving supplies, boxes, tape, bubble wrap, for a service that can't be beat. It's Mike Spina, 1300 Canal Boulevard in Thibodeau.
In the Thibodeau area, call your Carrier Peace of Mind dealer A&G Refrigeration for energy-efficient Carrier indoor weather makers. Carrier has been making weather the way you like it since 1902. For custom-made indoor weather, call your Carrier Peace of Mind dealer, A&G Refrigeration, at 446-6256, or visit us at 902 Jackson Street in Thibodeau. A&G Refrigeration is your Carrier indoor weather expert.
Let's go right back down to Kenny Wilkerson in the locker room. Kenny?
And we'll go right to Michael Lewis, who's already talking.
Everything, and then we're just going to move on and get ready for Dallas. That's all we can do.
What was your reaction when it worked, when everything worked? I mean, did you feel like right off the bat that all the laterals were good?
Oh, yeah, I knew all the laterals was good because when Dante threw it to me, I knew that it was behind when I caught the ball, and I handed off to Deuce behind me. And when Deuce threw the ball across to Jerome, I mean, when it started that way, I already knew the ball was behind. I didn't know what they was checking for, but when I found out I was checking to see if the lateral from Dante to me was still backwards lateral, I was saying to myself, like, I stayed behind him the whole time hollering his name, so I pretty much knew that they couldn't call it back if they was looking at what I did as far as Dante throwing me the ball, so I knew Dante had threw the ball behind me.
I mean, it seemed like almost the reaction from everybody. It was almost like it was funny. It worked.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And that's the truth, because we never practiced anything like that before. I mean, we never tried, just in case something like that happened. But, everybody was heads up the whole time. I mean, Dante running down the field, breaking tackles, and when he threw me the ball, I'm started to running, and when the guy cut me off, I came back, and I hear Deuce hollering at me. I hand him the ball, then I'm going to run back across the field and wind up running into somebody, and before I knew it, when I looked, Jerome diving across the end zone. I mean, you never practice a play like that, so to make it work, and it worked so beautiful, and I'm already chalking it up that John's going to make the extra point and, get ready for this overtime. you know, see if we're going to get the kickoff or kickoff return, you know, and try to win this game.
Yeah, you know, it seemed as though when you, to put the ball and to put it in John Carney, I mean, he's got as much respect in this locker room as anybody. No one expected that.
That's what I said. That's why I said when the odds could have been 100-1. I mean, John was going to make it. Like I said, my mindset was already waiting on a coin toss. So if we were going to get the ball or not, that's what my mind was already set.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.
Okay. All right, thank you, Kenny. We're going to send it back to our studios for a CBS special update report. We will be back for another interview in the locker room here on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
CBS News Update, I'm Tom Flody. It is not exactly a Christmas present from the government. Then again, maybe it is.
Today, the United States government raised the national threat level from an elevated to high risk of terrorist attack, or is more commonly known from a yellow code to an orange code.
Homeland Security Secretary Tom Ridge reporting increased threat of al-Qaeda activity, perhaps again using airplanes. Given that, this bit of traveling advice.
I would first suggest that we not leave our heads at home when we take our bodies on the road. That is to say, think, be vigilant. And secondly, give yourself extra time because security measures will be intense during this holiday season, and there will be packages that have to be opened. Don't wrap all of your packages in Christmas wrapping because that might not survive the security.
Professor Raymond Tanner.
Room show. We had to take that break for the special update from CBS, and we will be going back down to the locker room with Kenny Wilkerson here in just a moment as we wrap things up on a season that has one game remaining, and it's going to be interesting to see how that game plays out now after this one. I mean, this is I don't know that, you know, we talk about it all during the year, the highs and lows of a season, of a game, the emotion that goes through it. We just experienced it all in 1 minute. I mean, that's the highest you can get, I think, other than win the championship. I mean, to win a ball game like the Saints did, or at least tie it in that fashion, and then not to tie it because the extra point was missed.
Right. I mean, you know, usually when you when you ask me something, I don't know exactly all the emotions that players are going through, but never gone through anything like this, so I have absolutely no idea what they're feeling, other than that they're dejected.
Let's go back down to Kenny Wilkerson in the locker room, which has to be a dejected locker room.
As quiet and as dejected as probably ever. With Rick Venturi now, defensive coordinator. Rick, the interference call, you know, from where you stand and from as a defensive coordinator, when you see something like that, you know, what do you think happened? What's the rule?
Well, I never thought that you could question the interference part of it. But it looks to me like even if there's a tip there, the thing happened before. I mean, and so there's a foul, period. So it's just mind-boggling. That's the most bizarre last few minutes I've ever seen in a game. And it's really tough on us because we really did fight our way back. I mean, we struggled in the first half. My worst nightmares were there. He was running the ball, but we fought back. We fought back and hung in there in some key situations. And, God, the elation of that play at the end, it's just too bad. It's too bad. But, you know, we got to get over it. We got to find a way to win these games.
He told me all week, too. Fred, I mean, every time we talk, Fred Taylor.
Well, I was, you know, really concerned about him because he's the real deal. I mean, every time he carries the ball X amount of times, and they decided they were going to do that today. They weren't going to leave him out of it. I think they second-guessed themselves from a week ago doing that. They did a good job blocking us. He did some great running there early. But I thought in the second half, you know, we made some adjustments at the half. We went back to some defenses we haven't played since training camp, to be honest with you, and kind of reeled it back in a little bit, reeled it back in that situation. And it's just a shame. I mean, it's a shame these guys fought so hard. It's hard to deal with.
Rick, what's the biggest thing in your mind that this football team needs to do to become more consistent and get better?
I'd say it's probably a little bit of everything. You know, it's probably confidence. It's, you know, it's probably, you know, it's all about, I mean, we're so close. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's almost mind-boggling. So, you know, I think the most important thing is stay the course, not panic. And, you know, hopefully we can keep enough continuity with this team that we will overcome this and you know, continue to make progress. Because this is a team that's a pretty doggone good team that's a little bit snake bit right now.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
Okay, Rick Venturi. Larry?
All right, thank you, Kenny. Hokie, I think a point should be made, even with the extra point being good. Had it been good, the game would have still been just tied, and overtime was yet to be played. So the game, even though as elated as we were in this press box, the game hadn't been won yet, even with the extra point being good.
Well, that is correct, but
then it's lost.
Yeah, you never get an opportunity to take it into overtime.
Yeah, that's the sad part of it, no doubt about it. All right, the Saints lose this one. They drop to 7-8. They have a chance to improve to 8-8 and just have a break-even season. And that would almost be fitting to knock off Dallas in the final game and to go 8-8, even though they'll be the underdog at home against the Cowboys, because that's the kind of season it has been. It would have been 8 good games and 8 bad games. I mean, that's pretty much the way the season has gone.
Well, the Saints were underdogs today. I mean, the team is still fighting for its playoff life and
lose it.
And you were a 4-point underdog to Jacksonville, who only had 4 wins on the season. So, been a goofy season, and we saw some goofy things down there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back to wrap things up here from the stadium. So we'll take a break on the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show. We'll be back on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
At Alltel, we do wireless the way you do wireless. So we don't think you should be forced to make your calls on a spotty network or have to put up with gaps in your service. Instead, we're expanding our digital network by more than 150,000 square miles because we know you want wireless coverage that works wherever you go. It's the common sense way to run a wireless company. Switch to Alltel today. Call 1-800-ALTEL-9 or visit your local Alltel store. Better digital coverage? You got that right. Alltel.
Well, what do you have there, Jackson? The usual. Shirley Temple. Shaken, not stirred. 3 sherries with a little plastic sword. You got style, my friend. So do you guys. What are these, Blue Diamond almonds? Yeah, oh, yeah, new management. We took that stale party mix we used to serve. We used it as construction material in the remodel. The Blue Diamond almonds, they're free? Absolutely without charge. My goodness, Blue Diamond Smokehouse almonds. You may as well cancel my dinner plans. Hey, listen, are you pouring the Blue Diamond almonds in the pocket of your jacket there? Oh, yeah, that's for later. I got to get in my can a week. No. No? No. It's for the growers. No.
It takes more than offense to make the team a winner. The same is true for air conditioning. Tempstar and Comfort Center Oak Grove and Mays Service Center Taylorsville, Mississippi make a strong comfort team. Tempstar is known for more comfort equipment that's the most advanced product available. And McLean Plumbing and Electric, Jackson, Mississippi, B&D Heating and Air, Baton Rouge, and Tempstar will meet and exceed your expectations for high-quality, energy-efficient, dependable air conditioners. Quality you can feel from Tempstar and its dealers in Mississippi and Louisiana. The best values in America are at the Chrysler Year-End Sales Drive, where you can get big cash allowances or low financing. Choose from Town & Country, America's best-selling luxury minivan ever, the versatile PT Cruiser, or the innovative new Pacifica. Plus, every Chrysler comes backed by our 770 powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to your Chrysler dealer today and see how good the best values in America can be. Based on sales 1989 through 2002. Financing for qualified buyers. See dealer for a copy of this limited warranty. Transferable to second owner with fee. A deductible applies.
Stadium, everyone. Larry Matson at Alltel Stadium. That's going to do it from the stadium here in Jacksonville. We're going to send it back now to network control with Marc Chifici for highlights of this game right after this.
Chevrolet gives you holiday savings with their biggest sale of the season. 'Tis the season to save at Dante Chevrolet with all Silverado pickups and Avalanches with 0% APR for 60 months. Pick your present, $3,500 rebate or 0% APR on all 2004 Impalas and Monte Carlos. Check out the 2003 Trailblazer LT for only $24,395. Includes a $4,000 rebate. Put a little jingle in your pocket. Get $3,000 rebates on all 2004 Trailblazers. For the family that travels together year-round, a 2003 Suburban LS for only $28,215. Includes a $6,500 rebate. Santa would be proud. 'Tis the season to save at Dante Chevrolet, 1519 Canal Boulevard, Thibodaux. We'll be there. Price excludes tax, title, and license, credit permitting.
In small business, hard work drives every success story.
It's been a lot of work, but it's worth it.
Roadrunner
Business Class understands. Our high-speed internet solutions offer performance you can count on to increase productivity and profitability.
I never thought broadband would make such a difference.
Roadrunner Business Class gives your business essential connections to customers and suppliers, and your employees have the tools they need to get more done.
Our business is at the point where we need real internet solutions, like Roadrunner Business Class provides.
Our solutions are tailored to meet your business needs, and dedicated local customer service supports you all the way.
Roadrunner Business Class is taking my business where I want it to go.
Power your business with Roadrunner Business Class.
Subscribe to Roadrunner Business Class today. Call 1-866-363-7204.
Brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Time Warner Cable serviceable areas only. Not available in all areas. Some restrictions may apply. Roadrunner name and character are trademarks of Warner Brothers.
Marc Chifici back at network control. The Saints 7-8, mathematically out of the playoffs. Jacksonville beats the Saints by a score of 20-19. Let's go through the action. First quarter, Saints take advantage of an Ashley Ambrose interception, picking up Byron Leftwich. John Carney connects on a 33-yard field goal. The black and gold lead 3-0. That's your first quarter score. Second quarter, Seth Marlowe, the former Tulane kicker, gets Jacksonville on the scoreboard with a 45-yard field goal. After that, Jacksonville, they go on a 62-yard, 5-play drive. LSU Tiger gets this score for Jacksonville.
Here's Leftwich setting up the screen, and this is going to be Tofield. He's got running room inside the 5, running to the pylon, and he is in. But Brandon Tofield with his second touchdown of this season.
And that was a 14-yard throw from Byron Leftwich to LeBrandon Tofield. Extra point good. Jacksonville leads the Saints 10-3. Fred Thomas comes up with a big play. He picks off a Leftwich pass. Saints get the short field. 3 plays, 8 yards later, Brooks hits Boo. Saints tie it up.
On 3rd and goal from the 2. Going to throw the fade for Boo, and Boo Williams goes up and gets it. What a great catch by Boo Williams as they isolated him there against Rasheem Mathis. And Williams, who might be the best athlete on this football team, goes up and makes a great fingertip grab.
Well, I'll tell you what he did. Late second quarter, Saints Jacksonville tied up at 10. Jacksonville goes marching, 7 plays, 70 yards. Fred Taylor, he punches it in from 1 yard out.
And on a first down run, Fred Taylor goes in standing up. And that occurs with 21 seconds remaining before halftime.
PAT good halftime score. Jacksonville leads the Saints by a score of 17-10. Third quarter, Saints and Jacksonville trade field goals. John Carney hits a 38-yarder for the Saints. Seth Marler, a 35-yarder. For Jacksonville, end of the third quarter, Jacksonville leads the Saints 20-13. No score in the fourth quarter until about 9 seconds left. And then it's the law firm of Brooks, Stallworth, Lewis, Deuce, and Pathon for this improbable score.
2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right. From the shotgun, Brooks pumps, throws down the near sideline to Stallworth, and Stallworth tries to get away from some people and does to the 38-yard line. He needs a block. He needs a couple there. They're going to lateral the ball to Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis tries to stay alive. He'll lateral it to Deuce. Deuce needing help. He laterals across the field, and the Saints are going to take it in with Pathan. If this is legal, they've done it.
No.
Jerome Pathan diving into the end zone.
Quit saying no, Hokie. It was yes. The Saints score. Takes 5 plays. They get it in the end zone. Hey, it's 20-19. They'll just kick the extra point, right? Wrong. John Carney pushes the extra point to the right side. No good. Jacksonville beats the Saints by a score of 20-19. A black and gold 7-8. Out of the playoffs officially. A few stats for you. Aaron Brooks, 22 of 38, 296 yards, 2 touchdowns. Deuce McAllister held in check today, 21 carries, 50 yards. Huge day for Fred Taylor, the running back for Jacksonville. 34 carries, 194 yards on the day, 27 yards his long run, and of course, the touchdown. And that'll do it for today's Locker Room Show. The executive producers of Saints football are Phil Hoover and Diane Newman. The game broadcast producer is Larry Matson. The game has been engineered and directed by Robert Carroll. Network studio coordinator is Bob Frost. Saint Network engineers are Dominic Mitchum, Steve Herschel, Kevin Duplantis, and the Saints Network chief engineer is Joe Pole. The network affiliate coordinator is Jeff Grieve, and the director of Saints Network sales is DePaul Smith. Hey, be with us next week. Saints finish off the season. They take on Dallas, a noon kickoff. The countdown at 10. Once again, the final score. Jacksonville beats the Saints by a score of 20-19. This is Marc Chifici saying thanks for being with us. Stay tuned for The Point After. Up next with Buddy D on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
The game's over, but we're just getting started. Coming up next, The Point After with Buddy D. Today's Dodge Ram Locker Room Show is brought to you by Louisiana Lottery. Need a reason to smile? Dodge. Grab life by the horns. Tulane Football. Be green. Napa Auto Parts. Cintas, the uniform people. Tempstar dealers in Louisiana and Mississippi, working to keep you cool. The Dodge Ram Locker Room Show is also brought to you by these local sponsors.
Are you tired of not being able to find a full-service gas station? Then look no further to Mike's Fina, 1300 Canal Boulevard in Thibodaux. Mike and the gang offer a full line of services: brake tags, oil changes, tire repair, new and used tires, mag wheels, and rims. They will keep you going, and if planning on moving, make sure to stop by Mike's Fina. They offer budget truck rentals, trucks of all sizes, and moving supplies, boxes, tape, bubble wrap, for a service that can't be beat. It's Mike's Fina, 1300 Canal Boulevard in Thibodaux.
Puron, the environmentally sound refrigerant, is now in all Carrier 2-speed air conditioning units. Your peace of mind dealer, A&G Refrigeration, has all the equipment and training to sell, install, and service all Carrier air conditioning equipment with the environmentally safe refrigerant. If you are building a new or remodeling an existing home, come see us at 902 Jackson Street in Thibodaux or call us at 446-6256.
From the New Orleans Saints Radio Network, this is The Point After with Buddy D. To get in the ring, call 504-260-1870. Brought to you by E-Tel, Switch and Save. Abita Spring Water, the official bottled water of the Saints. Home Depot, it's your store. Subway, eat fresh. Allstate Insurance, put your life in our hands. Blue Diamond Almonds, a can a week is all we ask. The Saints Point After is also brought to you by these local sponsors.
Listening to New Orleans Saints football on Oldies 640 KTIB Thibodaux, Houma. Good times, great oldies, and New Orleans Saints football.
Buddy's ready to feed the squirrels. If you've got the nuts, it's The Point After on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Good evening and welcome to The Point After. We're broadcasting live from Denny's Seafood in the French Quarter, corner of Iberville and Dolphin. I'm just like the rest of you. I couldn't believe my eyes. From possibly the greatest and certainly the most unusual play ever by the Saints, a high, and then within seconds, John Carney misses an extra point, and the high turned into a low. Certainly, it'll be the most celebrated ending to a Saints game ever. And you'll see that last lateral touchdown hundreds of times. It should have forced an overtime, but that is almost the history of the New Orleans Saints. It really wasn't a game that the Saints should have won. That when you allow a run-up, Fred Taylor to rush for almost 200 yards, 194 to be exact. But because of the miracle last play, to turn the downer of a mixed extra point and no chance for an overtime win, it's flat out unbelievable. Trust me, you'll see the reruns of that multilateral play probably as long as you live. It's reminiscent of the California-Stanford game and a similar play, except they didn't have a band on the field. And how many hundreds of times have you seen that one on TV over the years? Another chapter in the believe it or not lore of the New Orleans Saints. Every time I think I've seen it all during 37 years of covering the Saints, they top it, and in the most bizarre way. We'll continue with the point after, live from Dini's Seafood in the French Quarter. Stay with us.
Hurry to your Jeep dealer and see how good the best values in America can be during the Jeep year-end sales drive. Now, qualified buyers get big cash allowances or low APR financing. Plus, stop in today and check out our specially equipped Columbia Edition Jeep vehicles, complete with a Columbia Sportswear Bugaboo jacket at no extra charge. But it all ends soon, so get to the Jeep year-end sales drive today. Financing for qualified buyers through Chrysler Financial. Jeep is a registered trademark of Daimler Chrysler. Columbia Sportswear and Bugaboo are registered trademarks of the Columbia Sportswear Company.
You know, nothing spoils a good cup of coffee like finding a big old stain of your coworker's red lipstick on the mug. It's like realizing there's a worm in your apple when you're about halfway through, and it gives a whole new meaning to the expression mugging with someone from the office. It's a good thing we got Janny King around here. You see, Janny King is the world's largest commercial cleaning franchise, Entrepreneur Magazine's #1 top maintenance service. And if you want them to do the dishes, they will. If you want it clean, call Janny King at 1-800-375-5264. That's 1-800-375-JANI.
What kind of machines can you expect to find for rent at Louisiana Rents, the cat rental store? Genie, Wacker, Sullivan, Lincoln. I thought you said the cat rental store. I did. Louisiana Rents carries many different lines of equipment and tools. Yeah, but they rent out big stuff like wheel loaders. Yes. Skid steers? Sure. Scissor lifts? Of course. How about jackhammers, concrete saws, pumps, and welders? They've got that and lots more. Does Louisiana Rents, that cat rental store, carry cat machines? I'm not even going to answer that one. Well, they carry every other piece of equipment you could possibly need.
Intimidate without trying at all. Intimidate, you're not even that tall. Intimidate, your own dog stays away. Yeah, you might be a nice guy, you're just not perceived that way.
Drive a Dodge Ram 1500 with an available 345 horsepower Hemi engine, and people just assume you're a bad boy with an attitude. Get to your local Dodge dealer and see why the best values in America just got better. Based on incentives effective 10-1. Grab life by the horns, Dodge. This is The Point After with Buddy D on your New Orleans Saints radio network. Call 504-260-1870 or for free long distance, 1-866-ETEL-44. That's 1-866-EATEL-44.
Welcome back to The Point After, Buddy D. We're broadcasting live from Dini's Seafood in the French Quarter, corner of Iberville and Dauphine. All right, let's go to the... Bubba is diamond-headed. If you ask me anything about Bucky Jones, I'm going to cut you off.
Man, don't cut me off, buddy. All I have to say is I was wondering, after the game, Haslett said he had all kind of trust and confidence in Carney. After that awesome play, and everybody's high, and everybody's extremely proud of the play. We're back in the game. Is it crazy to think that you would call a timeout just to get everybody together on it and let everybody catch their breath? And we need this point. We got to have this point.
Bubba, I think that's an all-world second guess. No, on a situation like that, no.
Definitely
no.
A second guess.
No, that's just a second guess. It was one of those bizarre things that, I guarantee you, if you'd have gave me a chance to bet that he would make the extra point, as long as it wasn't blocked, I'd have bet everything I had. All right, Bubba, thank you very much. Let's go to Ezel in Gretna. Ezel, you're on The Point After.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, sir.
How you doing? I've been a Saints fan since 1983. I just want to say a couple of things, buddy. When Mike Lamford kicked a 42-yard field goal with 6 seconds to knock the Saints out of the playoffs. Let's start from there, buddy. Let's not mention the 16 horrible seasons before that with no playoff appearance. The next 20 years, buddy, 7 winning seasons, 5 playoff appearances, 1 playoff win. one playoff win in 36 seasons. The team is cursed, buddy. When it comes to pro football, think about it. We beat almost every team that had a winning record. Super Bowl champs twice last year. Then lose 3 straight weeks to the NFL's worst. Then today, look at the game today. We have been saying wait till next year for 36 years. I mean, they can change the players, coaches, even the owner. We'll never go to the next level, buddy. Not in my lifetime or my 1-year-old daughter. I didn't believe in curses, but I do now. You know, Mr. Benson, if you're listening, let's start by changing the name. Saint. It's the definition of a saint, buddy. One whose heart has been changed by God and who seeks diligently to walk according to the indwelling of the Spirit of God. I rest my case, buddy. You comment on that, and I'm going to listen.
All right, Ezell, thank you very much. I think you are what you are, and you make your own bed to lie in it, although I'll have to say the Saints bring it to extremes sometime, but I don't really believe in jinxes and those kind of things, and I don't think changing the name would do anything. Certainly, I think they've changed the organization from time to time, and that really hasn't done anything either, except for a little success in the early 90s, late 80s and early 90s. But again, it's distressing. It's unbelievable. And again, I want to stress, it was a game that you really didn't think they would win the way the game unfolded. But the very fact that they came up with this bizarre multilateral play, we almost couldn't believe what you were seeing, and tied it. I mean, you would think it was tied. They forced overtime, and then for this extra point, I tell you, man, believe me, to me, this is more memorable in a negative way than the Tom Dempsey field goal. Let's go to Bob in Chalmette. Bob, you're on the point after.
Yeah, buddy, in your 37 years covering the Saints, I'm sure you've never seen anything like this.
Nothing close.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. But I've really seen the defense progress, and that's been a big subject about Aaron Brooks. He's either hot or he's real cold. What do you think about the offense under McCarthy?
Well, let me say to you, today, I think the defense, was the thing that was lacking, in the sense that I thought the offense didn't have a stellar game, but I mean, they did move the ball and everything. And man, listen, this is your 4th year. You've only made the playoffs the first year. What can you say? I mean, in other words, in a sense that generally speaking, a coaching staff that's going to, be worth something down the line. By say worth something, I'm talking about playoff wins and possibly conference championship. I think you'd have seen it by the 4th year. But again, man, today right now, I just think is not the day to shove the knife into coaches or owners or anybody, because it's one of those bizarre things that, you shake your head and commiserate and actually feel for them the way I know they must feel. All right. Thank you. Let's go to Damien, downtown. Damien? Damien's not there. They want to take a break. We're going to continue with the point after, live from Dini's Seafood in the French Quarter. Stay with us.
When it's time to buy, folks come to rely on Thibodeau Chrysler. Service and pride just had to ride. Thibodeau Chrysler.
The all-new 2004 Dodge Durango has arrived at Thibodeau Chrysler Dodge Jeep just in time for the holidays. The new Durango features an ideal combination of power, comfort, and size. Now available with a Hemi V8 engine. Durango's bigger, bolder design offers best-in-class towing capacity. Test drive the all-new Durango at Thibodeau Chrysler and experience its smooth ride and crisp handling. Durango is available in 3 distinct models and is priced well below the competition. You'll feel secure in your new Durango because it's backed by Dodge's 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain warranty. And Thibodeau Chrysler's 5-star service department. Grab life by the horns in your new Dodge Durango from Thibodeau Chrysler Dodge Jeep, 1505 Canal Boulevard in Thibodeau.
Are you tired of not being able to find a full-service gas station? Then look no further to Mike Spina, 1300 Canal Boulevard in Thibodeau. Mike and the gang offer a full line of services: brake tags, oil changes, tire repair, new and used tires, mag wheels, and rims. They will keep you going, and if planning on moving, make sure to stop by Mike Spina. They offer budget truck rentals, trucks of all sizes, and moving supplies, boxes, tape, bubble wrap, for a service that can't be beat. It's Mike Spina, 1300 Canal Boulevard in Thibodeau.
In the Thibodeau area, call your Carrier Peace of Mind dealer A&G Refrigeration for energy-efficient Carrier indoor weather makers. Carrier has been making weather the way you like it since 1902. For custom-made indoor weather, call your Carrier Peace of Mind dealer, A&G Refrigeration, at 446-6256, or visit us at 902 Jackson Street in Thibodeau. A&G Refrigeration is your Carrier indoor weather expert.
We're talking Saints football on the Point After with Buddy D. Call 504-260-1870.
Welcome back to the Point After. Buddy D at Denny Seafood in Bucktown. Not Bucktown, in the French Quarter, corner of Iberville and Dauphine, but the food is very similar at both places. In fact, it's almost the same. All right, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network. Radio Network Play of the Game, brought to you by Tulane Football. Go to NOAA.com and vote for Jay Bellamy, Jerome Paythorn, Charles Grant, or God. All right, let's go to Tricia, Uptown. Tricia, you're on the Point After.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
I don't shake my head for the Saints. I shake my head for John Carney. The last couple of weeks, everyone wanted to get down on Aaron Brooks, and they weren't even noticing how poorly John Carney's stats were. He's missed important kicks, and he only has one job. And I've been an athlete, and I've known college-level kickers, and they told me that it's the easiest job on the team, and I'm wondering what the deal is, how to deal with that.
Well, I guess you really don't deal with that, and I'm sure Carney is, feels worse than anybody. And the very fact is that until this year, he's been reliable. He's been one of the most reliable place kickers in the game. That's why he's still around. Right. That's why the Saints retained him. He's missed some field goals this year, but man, you would never think in a spot like that he would miss the ball.
Well, I noticed too that he's missed in the last 5 games or so, he's really missed some important kicks. And I was an athlete myself, and I realized that sometimes I was a gymnast. Sometimes your time is over, and that's nothing to be ashamed about, because in gymnastics you're over at 20, or 18. And I just think that Haslett needs to realize that sometimes if there's one catalyst in the game that, it's time to get rid of him.
Trish, I would think that they would certainly will consider that. There's no question about that.
Right.
Okay, you don't do it with 1 game left in the season, but I'm sure that's something that'll be considered strongly in the offseason.